Alright, give me 1 second. I'm going to start this game up and we'll keep going. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Alright, hello and welcome to the stream. My name is Greg Lumison, also known as the Iron Mason, and today on the stream we're going to be covering No Man's Sky. Now, the last few days we've had a couple of issues with Steam and and registering my controller, so we're going to give it a shot today and see if they've got their stuff together so I can play longer than 30 minutes. I would like to. But anyway, No Man's Sky, we're going to give it a go. Before we get started totally, though, I'm going to give a quick shout out to my recent subscribers in the last month. So we have Cruz Bell over on Facebook, Peanut on YouTube and Twitch, Deb and Guru over on Twitch, Lowen Hawk on YouTube, Jam_S344 on Twitch, Stratocast83 on YouTube, Isaac Sharon on YouTube, TX Tactical, Kevin Diddy Woodbury, Michael Law, Matty, Austin Broadhurst, Battlefield Airsoft, all over on YouTube. Then we have Renzetsu318 on Twitch, DC_Zoe, Apple O Ninja, Zach Sap TV _Hoss 00312, JJ Builds, and Hoss 00312 _run, all over on Twitch. Thank you guys for subscribing. You don't need to, you don't have to, but because you do and you spend your time with me, I just want you to know that I appreciate you. As always, the games and live streams are used to get to know you guys. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to talk about anything in your life or anything that you enjoy, feel free to drop that down in the chat. I use these videos to get to know you better. If you're just here and you're not a subscriber and you're just here for a great game and to watch along and play something in the background while you do chores or eat, or you just got off a stressful day of work or school or anything like that, well, we are happy to have you, and I hope my running dialogue helps you enjoy a little bit of whatever it is you're doing on this beautiful Friday. So let's get to it. Gra, Coward, Challenge Viking, Request Interloper. I've been hailed by a passing freighter. The life form who placed the call seems distressed, gesturing frantically. They seem in dire need of assistance. I will offer some help. A nearby freighter is under attack. Destroy pirates and save the fleet. Well, let's get to it. And guess what, guys? Oh, we're having some issues with the controller already. My R2 seems not to be working. Which is going to be a mild issue, seeing as I need to use that to put stuff down, but that could be fixed. Thankfully, it's still working, and I'm not like spinning around in circles. Well, that was easy. Fighting Interloper, Viking Warrior, Request for Reward. Lifeform, who must be the captain of this freighter, looks greatly relieved. They gesture as if to welcome me aboard their vessel. Alright, well, let's...
Navigational data received.
This might... Okay, so my R2 is working. I'm just going real slow. Well, that's good news. Let me get over here to... Woo! I was hoping to miss that. That's alright. And let's get in here. Let's see what this guy's got going on in his ship. Alrighty. New guide entry unlocked is freighters. So we'll go over to the captain. He's usually up here. The alien barks a loud battle cry as I approach. Alright, we'll compare our freighters. See what we got here. Cost is 18 million. Compared to mine, everything decreases. I'm going to decline his offer, but I will accept the reward. So let's request payment. Boom. Let's see if hopefully I got something. My standing increased. I got 235 nanites. I got a little bit of gold. And it doesn't seem like I've gotten much else from that, but that's okay. Alright, so what we're gonna do now, locate Apollo's contact, space anomaly, search for Artemis and the mysterious Apollo. Purchase tech blueprints or new base parts aboard the anomaly, undertake missions with other travelers from the Nexus, or exchange discoveries and rare products for nanites. Locate Apollo's contact. I guess I'll do that. Looks like it might be in the space station, or in the space system, the solar system. Or, no, it's on the anomaly. Welcome to the stream if you're just tuning in. Today we're playing No Man's Sky. It has quickly become my new favorite game. Even with the slight controller issues we've been having over the last few days since the update, and the few minor glitches since the update. I'm sure they'll get that ironed out, and it's not much to detract me from the game. You know, I played Cyberpunk when it first came out, the first day that it came out, and Cyberpunk was obviously in the news about all of the issues that it had, but I played it on PC, and I didn't have as many issues as everybody else. Some people thought it was unplayable because of the trash that was going on for the PS5 and Xbox. That was, or I don't know if it was the PS5, but it was the PlayStation and the Xbox. They thought it was unplayable. I guess those systems were having a lot of issues with Cyberpunk. I did not on the PC, and I thoroughly enjoyed the storyline. I happened to pick the best storyline of the 3 or 4, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great game, and I plan on pulling it back up here in a few months maybe, so we'll see. I demand a place on your throne world, interloper. Acceptance will grant you the glory of an exocraft and Viking mech priest to administer its mass. Pray only that you have an exocraft terminal sufficient for my skills. Refusal will result in my inevitable extermination. Be quick. The technician seeks work, claiming they will be able to build and upgrade exocraft for my travels. Why don't I have the ability to do that yet? Is it really you? Forgive me, I've been searching for such a long time. I am contracted to aid you in this and every cycle. Don't worry, everything was paid for a long time ago. It's all quite above board. As the stranger speaks, a smell assaults me. A pheromone infesting my brain, giving me memories of places I never visited, of actions I never took, of myself in a mirror, aged and alone, of the Skek cradling their fallen brethren. of a bargain made many years from now, a contract signed across the cosmos. The vision ends and the overseer remains. The overseer promises to expand my base, allowing me to recruit other workers. They require a construction terminal to get started. Well, I would love to, but I don't have a construction terminal. Ra, interloper, you are late. You were supposed to arrive minutes ago. Ooh, minutes ago. Nonetheless, the price has been paid and I have obtained the requested upgrades. Now, new modules for your base and protection against the elements. Where is your base sited? What sort of hazard protection meets your needs? I don't even remember. I think it's... Excuse me. I think it's pretty much a paradise world, so... Though the giant planet, Patsiumani, has a heat issue with storms. Return to your base. Use the space station teleporter to travel instantly. Let me see what I have to sell in my inventory first. I do need to get rid of some stuff. Tainted metal, I need to keep that. That's for nanites. Salvage data, I need to use some of that. Thank you. Shout out to Peanut. He gifted me that for trading him a horn for organic spaceships and a couple other things. I need to upgrade the cargo bulkhead. Ship inventory. Suspicious packet of arms. I'll sell that. Wiring loom. Dioxide. Defense chit. What else do I need to? Excuse me. So this game, if you're new to it, is a lot of inventory management, which isn't a bad thing once you get the hang of it. I'm starting to get over that learning curve a little bit, which is good because the game gets more enjoyable as soon as you stop feeling overwhelmed, which unfortunately is not the case for college. Though it does get better, of course, as you get closer to the goal. Classes get a little easier. They're a little less general, a little more specific to what you actually want to do. So that's something to look forward to. Let me see. Do I have an exosuit upgrade available? Nope, that's the little things. Yay! How much is it gonna cost me? 16,000. That's not bad. Could upgrade my other stuff. Before I do that though, this has got me going over here. Let's see. Well, it wants me to use the teleporter. I wonder if I can go in here yet. Ooh. This is opened up. That's new and exciting. What do you have in here? Is anybody in here? No? Nothing? Chair. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Cartographer, that's fine. Alright, so we're going to go to Patsiumani. Patsiumani is the name of the world in the book that I'm writing. 14 chapters in, I got that book out for the beta readers. And it goes over the story of James Aruco, who lost his wife and child mysteriously. They were children. They were all murdered. And then he's transported to a planet where it is less than hospitable, and he has to learn to survive this treacherous footing and star, or the world that he's at. Kind of similar to most exploration games. I am a fan of science fiction. So, place a construction terminal. Ayo. About dang time. Chromatic metal. I don't have enough, so I need to find some copper. Where are my copper deposits? Hopefully I haven't depleted them all. Hopefully they refresh. Ancient data structure. I should probably go get that while I'm here. Gonna jump in my little camouflaged race car. Oh yeah, bunny hops, baby. Let's go. This is definitely different. Interesting. Got a little sidetrack there, but that was a nice little update to my navigation systems. Let's see what we got here. It is 6:22. The goal is to do about 4 hours of streaming today. So I hope you guys are having a good time and you're ready for a good amount of fun and engaging story, as well as my interesting and always exciting commentary. Of course, I am being sarcastic when I say that. If you really want some good commentary, make sure you drop a chat down below. I love having things to talk to, or love having people to talk to and things to talk about. So if you have an interest and you want to share that interest and share it with someone who also probably has that interest, feel free to comment below, because I'm interested in a lot of things, as anybody in my life will tell you, sometimes to my own detriment. And if you're on Facebook or Twitch, if you subscribe or leave a thumbs up, you will get an animated shout out in the middle of the screen. So if you have anything that you want to paraffinium potential density underfoot. So if you have anything that you'd like to, you have anything going on that you want to have a shameless plug or shout out to, feel free to drop a like. Your name will be presented at the top of this. If you subscribe, I will shout you out, as long as it's been within the last month, on the channel for about an entire month straight. So you can shamelessly plug yourself and market anything that you might have going on. I wonder where that large deposit was. Hotspot to cover. Density underfoot 24. Max density 60%. Let's back to the surface. Let's mine underneath here. This planet isn't very deep. Then again, I think it's a moon, so that kind of makes sense. Let's see what we've got going on down here. Anything good? Just making a little tunnel, making my way down here. Alright, well this opened up to a little underground cave down here. What do we got? Anything that I haven't figured out or found already? Seems pretty calm.
Units received.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. It's starting to open up a little bit. Maybe I should have made my base down here, eh? What do you guys think? Seems to be a little bit of better protection. Down here on the beautiful moon of Susa Anua, who is another character in the book. Her name means good wife, and those are very hard to find. So if you find one, make sure you hold on tight.
Units received. Units received.
I guess not tight. Maybe lovingly is a better word.
Units received.
Treat her well. Interesting. Hazardous flora. Alright, we are going back up to the surface. I got a little sidetracked there. So where was this copper at? Right over here. 772 units away. I'm going to make our way over there happily. Big old blob of goo over there, not doing much. Just chilling and relaxing. If you are over on YouTube, go ahead and say hello. If you are having a good time, go ahead and tell me how you feel. If you want to see something in particular, go ahead and give that a shout out. I'd be happy to curtail the stream a little bit more to your liking. If not, I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing. Try to finish some of these missions up. There was a time a few days ago where I was just going to focus on upgrading the ship, which means that I would be doing a lot of mining and a lot of inventory management and a lot of off-planet searches as well. That might be a possibility at some point. Spring break is ending this week. This weekend is the last weekend of my spring break, and then it's back to school next week, so there won't be as many streaming opportunities or streams in general. I'll just do those when I have time for them. School takes the priority and all of my concentration and effort. And then we'll pick back up again in about 7 weeks in the summer. And during that time, I'll have a little more availability to have a consistent schedule on the streams. In between writing, I'm going to try to finish my book, or at least a good portion of my book this summer. I think I could probably do about 9 or so chapters. Alright, I need a new copper deposit because I had already used that one. We'll go over this away. Do. I have a feeling I probably have done or used this copper mine, this copper deposit already. Probably already mined it for its materials. Did a lot of mining over this way before. This is unusual for this to be barren over here. got going on? Please don't have already been used. This is starting to look familiar though. Yep. Alright. Alright, I'm going to call my ship in. We're going to go a little bit further away. And I will try to mine on another side of the planet. So, summon vehicle. Zim Zimo. Let's go. Whee! I don't know what happened with the controller settings, but they took away the haptic feedback, which is a shame. I had haptic feedback on the PS5 controller the last few days. Had gotten used to that. I'll figure out what exactly is going wrong and see if I can't... Man, 2 of these in a row? Alright, well I'm gonna turn this small business around. See if I can't collect this collection data. Maybe it'll open the map up a little bit. No, not the light, you dummy. About post, eh? Alright, well let's get cracking inside here and see what we can find. Is there anything worth having in here? Alright, so we got a new word. Usually we just get nanites and some credits, which isn't bad because you kind of need them for upgrades and stuff, but there's really not much to go on story-wise here. It's okay though. I'll head back to the other little checkpoint that I saw on the way here. I think it was this way, wasn't it? Well, that's one thing you gotta learn. Oh, there it is. One thing you gotta learn to do, though, is make sure that you... Make sure that you really stop and get the stuff that you see. Otherwise, you'll get turned around and, you know, you'll miss it. This might have some good stuff in it. It's got a sentry outside the door here. So if this requires me to break it open, I might just call... Yeah, I'm going to call in my exosuit. Or not. Let me build an exosuit summoning station. And I will call in my exosuit. Need to put this back at my base now that the mission is done. We're gonna break open the door. And that suit of mine will take care of those sentries if they start getting a little frisky. Oh, seems like I got one trying to get a little frisky. Crack this open, see if it'll turn everything off. I can hear pressurized fluids filling the pipe surrounding the terminal. The sound is rather ominous, especially when combined with high-intensity alarms. Well, I should have read that. Oh, shoot. Pick up metal debris. I pick up a large piece of scrap metal from the floor, presumably deposited there when I blew up the door. This has the desired effect. My weight has been increased to within the non-suspicious range for a Viking warrior. The terminal grants me access. Normal operations have resumed, and I have access to the facility's main control panel. I should be able to alter production to my own benefit. Create multi-tool expansion slot or recipe. Go ahead and drop in the chat. Should I extract nanites, create a multi-tool expansion slot, or learn a new recipe? Type 1 for extract nanites, 2 for create multi-tool expansion slot, and 3 for learn new recipe. You have 1 minute to make your choice and drop it in the chat below. And then I'm gonna do it. While you're making your decision, I'm gonna give you guys some good music to listen to. Should it be a 1, extract nanites, a 2, create multi-tool expansion slot, or 3, learn a new recipe? Drop it in the chat below. And that can be on Steam, or on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. Steam if you're watching there, and Streamlabs, OBS if you're watching there. You have 30 seconds. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 seconds to drop it in the chat. 3, 2, 1. All right, the choice is made. We are going to learn a new recipe. And that recipe will be... Ooh, do I want to do acid? Lubricant. Thermic condensate. Portable reactor. Guess I gotta do the first one. Boom. Alright, let's get back to the game. Gotta pick this up so I don't forget it and drop that back off at my base once I get the mining done that I need to do. Let's get back to the main thing, guys. I'm gonna find, I'm gonna just go in this direction, southbound direction, for about 30 seconds. And then in those 30 seconds, I will land and search for some copper deposits. Once I find those copper deposits, I will mine it and then create some chromatic metal out of it. And then from that position, we will go down and start working towards that mission that we're working on. Let's see. Copper deposit, 210 away. Let's get to it. Come here, buddy. I'm gonna jump in ya. It's not the first time she's heard something like that. Pew! Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Alright, here we go. Terrain manipulator. Open this up a little bit so I can see. Mine it down to the ground. Well, there's nothing below it. That looks good. Switch it to flatten and grab all the goodies. Like a bear getting some honey. Speaking of, if you guys haven't seen that TV show Alone on Netflix, they just dropped the 7th season. There's only one season available on Netflix. And I guess the other seasons were on TV. But if you haven't seen it yet, what a great show that is. Let me tell you. Actually really interesting. Teaches some great survival skills. Almost makes me want to jump in my backyard and actually get to work. All right, let's see. I mean, I'm right here. I might as well get this. Go back to the ship where I was. That'll give me a better idea of where I haven't gone. Alright, so I got the copper mine over there to the left. Let's see, paraffinium. What is that? Some kind of flora, right? Humming sacks. Paraffinium. Copper is 1,000 meters away. Cobalt 393. I already got that one. Alright, we're going to jump back in the ship and continue our forward trajectory. See if we can't find some more copper. Alright, that's a good amount of space away from that. Let's see what we got over here. See if I can find some more copper. Daddy needs a new beamer. And what do we got? Cobalt. Copper over here. Let's go. Alright. Exosuit. Let's do our Incredible Hulk impersonation and just leap. You know the Incredible Hulk can't fly. He can jump a lot and jump far distances, so it almost is like he is flying, even though it's really just jumping. It's kind of how I feel about this. If I could have less contact with the ground, I feel like it would feel more like I'm flying. Alright, and flatten it out. You know, there's a part of this game I think that I've kind of figured out a little bit. Since this planet isn't very deep, like usually you'll have a deposit on top of a deposit. But because this planet isn't very deep, there's only the base level of copper and stuff. Whose base is this? Yablos Higher. That's off planet. There we go. Man, two right next to each other. Let's go. The word for charge, the word for consort. Or consort. I said that like thermal protection module. Alright, take it down to the ground level, flatten it out, and get after it, boy. There we go. All right, I would say that that is probably good for the copper that I needed. For the little bit of magnetic chromium. What are these deposits? Paraffinium. Then I got something right next to it. Cobalt. Interesting. There's copper right there. I think that was the one I was at. Copper over there. Cobalt that way. Damaged machinery. I guess I could get a little bit of nanites from this. Since I'm over here, I might as well. I'll get that knowledge stone on the other side there. And then from that, yep, just give me the nanites, bud. Dense carbon, Gek relic. I guess those relics are pretty important to have if you plan on like destroying a whole cargo thing. And really the best way to get money is by like going after a cargo fleet. I had 600 and some million just by destroying a cargo fleet. Gun doesn't do anything but stun them. Alright. Let me get out of this exosuit. I'm gonna call the ship. Go back to my base. Where is Patsiumani base? There it is. Do 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 do. I'm gonna drop this summon station. Right there. That's good. Drop this portable refiner down. I got I'm gonna craft these scraps into stuff. Nanite clusters.
Technology recharge.
Never mind, that's gonna take too long. I'll let that go in the background once I get what I need. Stop that. Grab those. Nope. Stop that. Grab this. Drop it on the freighter. Drop this on the freighter too. And then where's the copper? Put the copper in. And begin. We got 3 minutes. Might as well fly over to the other place while I'm waiting on this. I'm gonna fly to the village of Kaluka. Kaluka is from the book as well. It's a little south of where James lands on the planet. Lots of crazy stuff happens down there. So when you're reading the book and you are thinking back on these streams, you know, just remember what I told you. Lots of crazy stuff happens down in Kaluka. It's pretty pivotal to the storyline. And it seems to be one of the main storylines here on the game as well, in terms of what you have to do in establishing a colony and stuff. So what was that purple something? There it is. Purple something. Why is this purple? Interesting. It's interesting. I need to find one of those towers on this planet. I forgot to do something while I was at that one the other day. Where is Kaluka? Kaluka. There it is. Do. 39 seconds. I'm gonna go up to space, see if we can't get there just a little faster. I think that was a little quicker, don't you? I think that was a little bit faster than what it was planning on having us do. I'm gonna actually, I don't know if it'll allow me to, but if it does, I'm gonna put a landing strip right out here. Let me see if it'll let me do it. No, I'd have to put a base down or something. I don't know. Will it let me put a base computer down? I need chromatic metal to do that. Alright, well, I'm only over here for 3 minutes anyway. Construction opportunity. Approved medium dwelling. Approved farm module. Citizens have submitted specifications for the development of both a new standard house and agricultural unit. Data indicates a 44% approval rating for a standard house, while 41% approval for the agricultural unit. Ooh, I should do the agricultural unit, but production per day. Nitrogen filled up. What is this? Decrypted user data. each of which contain vast amounts of decrypted user data. So I have 12 of those. Individually of low value, taken together, these repositories can be processed and scanned for valuable data. This process occurs in systems with advanced materials economies. Alright, so we'll sell that at the store. So we're starting to be productive. Happiness, let's do something for the villagers. Let's actually do a medium dwelling. Let's do something for them. We've got a water tower, we've got a market. We'll do the dwelling and then we'll do the farming after that, because that should be another option for us to do. So I'm going to sell the stuff that I got over here at the market. Sell decrypted user data. Actually, let me see. Can I actually do anything with that myself? Nope, can't do anything with it. Combat scope. Remember, lots of inventory management on this game. So, if you're not keeping up to date with it, it's important that you do. Just try to sell these. Sell this. Sell this. Sell this. Reactive shell. Scream suppressor node for the vessel's pain suppression systems. Well, I can't use it. I don't have an organic ship, so I have an organic like spaceship, but not one that I can fly in. Not a personal craft. I can't do anything with that. Alright, so we're gonna sell the decrypted user data. Sell decrypted user data.
Units received.
Gek relic I don't need.
Received.
Not at the moment. So nothing. Hey, I'm running solo right now. But I'll open it up. Give me just a second. Got a few things. Let me see. Enabled and friends only. There you go. Go ahead and jump in if you feel like you want to play some. Run a few missions together. Always happy to do that. Let me break down this stuff really quick. Discard. 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 I need to increase that. Then, let me see. What do I need to give to this guy? Construction, standard, supply materials, pure ferrite. Alright, I'm going to head back to the ship. And then gather my copper. or I guess the magnetized chromium. Alright, let me go up to space really quick. Shout out to Mercenary, he's the one that told me to do this. Go up to space, gives you a speed boost. He is the real MVP. Alright, let's see. Now that we've got that all done, I can pick up this. Finally, I might have some extra. Good. Alright, and then I need to construct an advanced... I forgot about that. An advanced construction terminal. Oop, oop. Opposite side of the room, straight from the door. There we go. Expanding the base. Objectives updated. Requires a skilled overseer. You can require overseers in space stations. Hire a base overseer. Let me actually see if I can't do a solar panel finally. I don't have any power on this base, even though it's one of my main bases. Actually, it is my main base. Let's see. Metal plating. And a solar panel. Drop that down. See if I can do a battery. Need another metal plating. Metal plating. And a battery. I always do that. Some things on this for the controller is A, and sometimes to set stuff down it's R2, so it's hard sometimes to know which one to click. That's okay though, it's just a learning curve. Say, wait a minute, does that not require any? Guess it does. There we go. Got some lights up. Oh, I also have a light there, don't I? Let me see. Let me grab my little electric wiring. Can I run a line from that to this? I can. Ain't that something? Alright, so we've got 2 things in the main base. Let me see what else I got that I can put in here. A base salvage capsule. Preserves matter left out over after the destruction of a previous base. I mean, I might as well, right? Have like a little backup thing just in case I destroy one of my other bases. Is it draining too much power? Let me double check, mercenary. Let me make sure that, because I know I turned it on. Multiplayer enabled. My friends list. You're part of my friends. And then I have it as can join my group friends only. Let me put it to anyone and see if that allows you to do it. Voice chat enabled. Text chat anyone. There we go. Alright, see if that works. That didn't do much. Alright, cool. So we've got that. What else can I put in here? Put in my little base. Landing pad, appearance modifier. Already got that in. I probably should put a base teleporter in here. Oxygen harvester. A medium refiner. Message module. I don't know what the message modules are for, so I'm not even going to use them. I'm not going to waste my resources on building that. I should probably build one of those. What else? I have stuff for that. What else? A save beacon. Autonomous mining. Maybe I'll do that. Communication station. Save point. Minotaur Geobay. See if I can't do this. A metal plating and ion battery. See if I can't get a mineral ion battery. How many do I need? 1 ion battery, 2 metal plating. So craft another and craft an ion battery. The AMU extracts minerals without the need for supervision, providing a regular yield until the site is exhausted. I wonder why this won't let me put this here. Maybe because I need a mineral deposit? I'm not sure. That's okay. Whatever. Alright, I'm going to put the tainted metal in there. Mercenary, any luck? You can try closing and reopening your game. Tell you what, let me fly to Faziomani, and then I will try to close and reopen the game. I'm just gonna quit back to the desktop and options menu. If it doesn't work after that, then I guess we won't do it tonight. I am on a stream currently, so that's the main focus. But I'll do it once I get to Kaluka over here. We'll see if that works. Alright, let me see. Is there a save point over here? Do I have a save point? Save, 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 save. Is there a save point at all? I think it automatically saves when I exit and enter my vehicle. But I do have one. Alright, I will try it. So I'm going to quit to mode select. And then play game and load it back in. A little too late for that. No worries. I don't know what to do with that stuff anyway. I heard it was for nanites, but I don't think those squares are nanites. They might be, I'm not sure. Alright, interesting. I was gonna say my building is gone, and now I am. Alright, try it now. See if that updates the game. 29%. I need to. Where's my ship? Grab my ship and hire an overseer. Do 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 do. There it is. Big Merce. And yep, you're right, Big Hoss. I lost all of whatever that was, so.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that the game does, unfortunately.
No worries, you know? No big deal. Ah, shit.
Spoke too soon?
No, I hit the wrong button. Instead of picking something up so I can move it around, I deleted it. That's alright.
With portable items, I think it automatically puts it in your inventory, unless your inventory is full. Check your backpack real quick.
Doop 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 doop. No sir. That's alright though. That's okay.
Well, I'm guessing it's full, right? You're in your backpack.
No, it's not full.
Oh,
It. I accidentally hit the delete button, but that's all right. I don't think it was portable. It was one of the base items.
mm,
It's one of my. It's the base recuperator. In case you destroy a base, it holds the storage of it or whatever.
mm-hmm.
So I accidentally deleted that, which is no big deal.
I see.
So what's new with you, man? How's life?
Pretty good, pretty good. I was joining a buddy of mine. He's another guy that does like No Man's Sky streaming and stuff like that because he's testing out a few things just to see if some updates work.
Understood.
Yeah, we were trying to get like 30 people in. Well, they were trying to get more than 30 people into a system at a time, um, but it's unfortunately not possible.
Why is it not possible?
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing is I think it might be people are kind of misinterpreting certain things, like because it says that the limit of every solar system is 30 people, and they were just trying to get 30 random people just to join on him, you know, like one by one.
Mm-hmm.
But my guess would be that that the game will prioritize having that many people in the game or in a system. If there's a reason. So if, like, let's say me and you are in a group of 4 people, and then another group of 4 people go into your system, and then another group of 4 people. So I think that's more manageable because there's that good connection between these groups, rather than just a bunch of random people showing up.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, because there are like different instances of solar systems that happen. So like, let's say me and you are here, and let's say a whole bunch of people come to the solar system. Just because they come to the solar system doesn't mean we'll be able to see or interact with them, because they're in the same location, just not the same server, so to speak.
Got you. It would be interesting if they would allow you to like host events. You know what I mean?
Well, they used to do that. They used to host. I used to help every now and then, where they would like have people join on them, and they would give out, you know, rewards and stuff like that, like requests. And they did that for a while, but I think the maximum we ever had in the system was like, I think 20, maybe 20 something.
Did you have your buddy mod you so you were large? Is that what happened?
Say again?
Did you have your buddy mod your character so you got tall?
Oh, no, 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 no. So my character and a lot of stuff that I have, like my pets, I custom make myself.
So like you make the modifications. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because it's a small distinction, but there's a distinction between mods and edits. So mods usually can encompass edits as well, but it's just safer to say that they're like external assets that people try to add into the game. So like people that have brought in like star destroyers and like X-wings and things like that, that only they could see. So like if I came in an X-wing, you wouldn't be able to see it. You know, you could see that I'm flying in something, but you just
Got
wouldn't be
you.
able to see it.
And
Yeah,
that's a mod, not an edit.
yeah. So those are mods. Um,
So you have an
it's
edit.
kind of one of those like that. Yeah.
Not bad. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it lets you do some pretty interesting things. You could edit some ships, which is why my ship is the way that it looks. Um, like also my pets, like the worms I gave you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those ones are pets that were edited. So, because normally you cannot have them. You can have a worm pet, but it's like this like weird generic one you get from like this old expedition that like kind of the body parts really don't match, and I really didn't like that, so I ended up changing them up.
Got you. And so how do you do that? You like export some of the data out of the computer into like a gaming software, like Unreal Engine or like Re-illusion or something, and then make your own custom assets. Is that what you do?
No. So, because if you make custom assets, I wouldn't be able to give you them, and you wouldn't be able to see them either. So the way it works is it's similar. So what you'll do is you'll export your save file, because a lot of the stuff that you have is saved on your save file,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll just mess around with it. There's actually spreadsheets that people have made of like different body parts for creatures, because there's a bit of like of a method to that whole madness, where things have like values, so to speak. Where like let's say if you put like let's say a head, because it has to be like organized. Other things like things will override each other in a sense. So like you have to put the head first, and then the neck, and then the body, and so on and so forth down the list. For most creatures, are organized that way. Other ones, it's like the head, and then it's the body, and then it's the neck. Because if you don't do them in the proper order, then certain things won't render, and it'll just like a computer.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's actually a lot more simple than what it sounds like. It's like one of those things where once you do it, it's way more simple than an explanation.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into that whole thing?
Well, funny enough, it was because of this young guy I used to play with. Well, I still kind of do, but he's been kind of like gone for a little while. Um, so back when pets first became a thing, it was like very simple, very basic, and they added the ability for your pets to lay eggs, and then you could give them to each other. So he had been for a very long time looking for like cool pets because he's a little kid, and he likes dinosaurs and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he had the idea without me knowing of going onto eBay, and there are people on eBay that will sell ships and pets and so on and so forth for like extremely exorbitant prices. Um, and he ended up buying what I found out later, this dinosaur for like $30. Um, and I only found this out because he was like, showing off to me, like, oh, check out what I got. And I'm like, cool, you think I could get an egg when it lays one? And he's like, yeah, of course, but could I trade it? And I'm like, yeah, no problem, I'll give you, stuff that I have. But he actually wanted real, actual money. And I'm like, no, because you're a kid. I can't be giving
Yeah.
you money. It's not the way this works. Um, and I told him, like, well, why do you want money? I mean, if you need something in the game, because like we also used to play Warframe, and I would buy platinum in the game, and you could give people platinum. So like stuff like that. And he told me that he bought this dinosaur for $30, and I'm like, what? So then I went to eBay, and you could see like the highest price I've ever seen was this guy was selling 4 pets for $100 straight, and I was like, what the hell? And like I never really liked that, and I never really liked, because as far as I know, that's technically illegal anyways. Um, but it's not really something that's like enforced, because I mean you're not gonna go up to like like law enforcement and be like, oh, he gave me a dinosaur in the game. He's gonna be like, take a hike, kid, you know. Um,
Right.
but yeah, so that's what kind of got me into like the whole editing thing, because I wanted to help people get stuff that they wanted, without having to pay an arm and a leg. On top of that, other people don't really have that much free time. Like a guy that I'm also subscribed to, he's got a cerebral palsy, and he's always like looking for creatures, but he can't really like like hunt them down. Like it's hard for him to control the characters. So every once in a while I'd like make something for him that he was really looking for and had a hard time finding, and just give it to him.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so it keeps telling me to go to the overseer at his base, but like
Mhm.
it just keeps pointing me back to the
Oh,
space station.
oh yeah. You might have to hire one. So
Yeah, I just did. That's what's
yeah,
crazy. Oh no, he's back at my base. Okay, I found it.
yeah. So you have to put down a overseer I guess, rooms, I guess you could say, like little standing, like little stands, I guess you could call
Here, I got a question for you. So,
it.
I have an object of interest that just popped in front of me, and it's like this
Mhm.
derelict freighter. What do you
Mhm.
do with these freighters? I've had like 5 of them, but there's like nothing I can do with it.
So these have like these like cargo pods that you can shoot and it'll give you like resources. I wouldn't recommend it because sometimes the local authorities don't like that. So they'll like you'll either lose standing or like sentinels will come after you.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
cause
But
what?
those are yeah.
I got like $600 million the other day because I attacked an
Mhm.
entire cargo fleet.
Mhm.
Like literally 600 million because I attacked its cargo fleet and then sold the
Mhm.
stuff that it gave me, but my standing went down to negative one half.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had to earn it all back. Little did I know, you give enough of those little statues and stuff, and then your
Yeah,
reputation gets better. But
yeah, yeah. There are some people who they would do that, but so not too long ago there was a situation where if you were playing with your friend, because most people are just very interested in making quick cash as fast as possible. Um, so what would happen is you would have people that would be in your group, and while you're like, let's say, building your base or in the space station or just doing something simple, they'd be out shooting friendly ships and freighters and whatnot, and your standing would also get lower because you're in that group. So there was a lot of people that unknowingly had their standing with any faction go like super into the negative.
interesting.
Yeah, so they resolved that problem by not making that happen anymore. There is an occasional situation where that still will happen, but as like a backstop for it, they added this item called a fake passport. I think what it's called. Let me double check that. I think it's like a forged passport, something like that. And you don't increase your standing, so to speak. You just reset it back to neutral.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I guess that's better than, decreasing it to an abysmal level and then not being
Right,
able to do anything and being attacked constantly. So,
right, right. Yeah, no, that's a thing that that's a thing that a lot of people kind of most of us liked the concept of your standing getting lower, but it wasn't really much of like a consequence for people. So, like for example, in GTA Online, if you players kill a lot, your icon turns into a skull on the map, and you're permanently marked on the map for a certain period of time, and people actually get reputation and money for killing you in return.
interesting.
Yeah. At least that's what I can remember, if I can remember that correctly.
That's not around anymore? Or you said,
Well, I haven't played GTA Online since like they started adding all these like DLCs and pay to win mechanics.
oh, hmm.
Yeah, that's why a lot of us play, No Man's Sky and like other games like that because it's just got very tiring very quickly of them just constantly wanting you to spend, spend, spend.
It's like a pay to play kind of thing now.
Yeah, which is very unfortunate. Like there are exceptions to rules, like there are free to play models, but a lot of them are like abusive. I think one of the worst ones, which ironically the names sound extremely familiar. So there's Warframe, and then there's another game called Warface. And Warframe has things that you can buy with real currency, but they're just cosmetics. They're like also a bit of shortcuts like XP and stuff like that. Um, but they're not overly done and invasive. Warface is the exact opposite. It's literally got loot boxes where you spend real actual money and you're not even guaranteed to get something in return. So it's literally gambling.
Yeah, you know, I never understood how gambling got to be so popular.
Hmm.
I thought it was only for Native Americans, you know, living here in Michigan, but
Hmm.
for whatever reason, I guess
Hmm.
it's now everywhere. Like you can't go on TV without seeing a commercial for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's because everything is like within a certain context. So, for example, like what you would call physical gambling, that's controlled by tribes. Simply because that's like like the land they were given back by the government and stuff like that. So that's where that fits in. But when it comes to like online, that's like a whole separate category apparently. Because you're not actually trading something that's physical and tangible, right? So it doesn't count for whatever reason.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah.
interesting. Seems like Native Americans were getting a good amount of money from gambling, and then the government's like, "Oh, we got to get in on this. Let's find a way
Yeah.
to push it through."
Yeah. Well, it's always been something like that. Um, I know I know for a fact there's an unfortunate situation where a lot of tribes actually don't like each other, and then there's like a bit of unfortunate elitism when it comes to like within tribe sharing. Because from my understanding, is they explained it to me like where if you're part of the tribe that owns a casino, you get a certain proportion of the earnings.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to like jump through all these hoops, to prove that you can for whatever reason. Um, so there's unfortunately that situation where greed ends up winning in most people, unfortunately.
So, what else is going on in your life? What's new and exciting?
I mean, besides having at least some time off finally, um, not much, just testing things out. Like, what was it? Actually, do you mind if we test something out right now?
Sure. What do you need to?
I
What do
just
you
want
want
to
to try?
double confirm. So, there is currently, from my understanding, um, there's currently, my understanding is that there is a bug where people are allowed to build in your freighter's control room, which normally isn't possible. But apparently, if you join a friend, um, or your friend, if you have your friend join you, then your friend is able to build on your freighter. So do you have a freighter yet?
Yeah, I got a freighter.
Yeah, if you could just summon it in, like right above us, and we can just fly in there.
I didn't summon it in, but I don't know. It might be above us.
Uh, I don't see it on the map.
So, are you asking to build on my freighter? Is that what you want to do?
No, I'm just trying to see if so for items that you place down, there's something that we refer to as green state. So if you're like, for example, if I wanted to build here, I just pop out whatever item, and for me it's red because I currently don't have permission, right?
Right.
I just want to see if it turns green, and if it turns green, then you're allowed to build there.
In the ship?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll summon the ship down. Let me see. I gotta go there anyway, so.
yeah. Well, you just look straight up. This thing, I don't see it. I don't see it.
I think I might have did it a little,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
it's out in the distance again. Okay.
I didn't think it was gonna go that far out. I thought it was gonna put it right above me, but it didn't. So it's got a
Yeah,
little bit of range we gotta go.
yeah. Now, distance is like sometimes very hard to tell in this game whether something is far or close.
Uh-oh, are those the alarms saying that we're about to be under attack, or did we escape them?
No, no, we should be fine.
What does your ship look like?
Which one?
Is it a ball? Is it just this ball?
Yeah. So this is the interesting thing is this is kind of the difference between an edit and a mod. So there are mods that make your ship look like this, right? But if you try to like stand on it, you can't, or you're like pushed way back here. Because what it does is it makes all the other parts not visible, but they're still there. With an edit, they're actually completely gone. So there's no like situation where you're not seeing something. It's literally just this.
Interesting. Looks like a
Yeah.
Pokeball.
Yeah. It's a cockpit from one of the explorers.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
All right. So I'm gonna edit my stuff. You go ahead and see if you can put something on there.
Okay. Let me just hop over here. Okay, let's see. Oh, well, I currently don't have permission to build in this space.
Yeah, I have that off.
Yeah.
Let me turn it on really quick.
Yep.
What is it? What do I put? Can add base terrain or add base parts?
Add base parts, yeah.
There you go.
Let me just go to a really small decoration or something. Let me see.
Somebody the other day was trying to add something onto my base too.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what it was.
Like like a little decoration or something.
There was something
Oh
that
wow. Oh wow, that is possible. Oh,
Oh, you can put it
that's cool.
anywhere.
Yeah. See how I'm trying to put it right here? Okay, watch. Boom.
That only happens if you're on a friend's ship.
Yeah, cause why? Cause this is your freighter, right?
Yeah, cause
Or
I can't do it on mine.
right? Well, come over here. Come in here. You
That's a
have to
pretty
come in.
cool thing.
You have to stand over here in this section. Okay. Now, if you go into the if you go into the build, if you press on something, and then you click, I think it should be L3. I think. Yeah.
Let me see. Nope. It must be too
Mm.
big. I don't have anything small, so I have
Mm.
a light.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
Anything.
oh, oh,
Anything.
it does.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Cause see how it's red on your screen? It's red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's green here, right outside the door, but that's about it.
But are you trying to put down a room or?
Just a little light.
Yeah. So see how it's red for you?
It's green right outside the door. Like I can
Yeah.
do
But
it
if you try, right. But if you try to go any further, it turns red, right?
right.
Yeah. See, that's what's weird. For me, I can build in your own control room further than you can, and that's like a weird bug that's going on.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like, I guess I'll leave this for you. I guess.
I mean, you can whatever. It's pretty cool, but I mean, this
Yeah.
doesn't have any practical purpose, so
No.
no worries.
No.
You can keep it there if you want.
Yeah. Luckily, it's non. This thing is non-interactable. You know, because that's the one thing that drives me nuts is people will have like all these like bits and bobs and go all out. But yet you're trying to come over here to like send your frigates on a mission, but you're like accidentally interacting with this other thing over here.
Yep. Speaking of, I need to go check that. I had those guys on a mission last night or the night
Oh,
before.
cool. Right?
You see if I got anything good. I got these like these. Nope, I don't have. Do I not? Did I not send them out? I thought I sent them out. Interesting.
Okay. Let me see if I can. Oh, sorry. That was too far. I forgot I have to go into the build camera. Let me see if I can get you a little. Can I upscale that? I think. No? No? Oh, that's unfortunate. Um.
Can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
What's the difference between an industrial expedition and a like a balanced expedition and a combat expedition?
As far as I know, it's just one of those situations of like you might get specific resources, like a combat one might have like I think like maybe like stuff from like things that you kill. like larval cores and things like that. Um, but for the most part, they're just named. The difficulty depends on how many stars there are. The higher the stars, like the more difficult it is, and the higher reward you reap.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, some things are just there. They're just named just to sound cool or different or unique. Mm. Oh, also, I saw your stream the other day. So you know how to switch multi tools or not yet?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cause I was like, don't worry, you didn't lose your multi tool.
I wish I could sell them though. Bit of a pain in the
Uh,
butt not to be able to sell stuff.
well, you can what was it? You can swap them out when you go and you check because you can have a bunch of multi tools. Like I think right now the limit is like 12. I think.
Yeah, but why would you if you can eventually upgrade it like enough to where you can have every upgrade available, why would you need more than one?
That's a $1 million question. Um,
You know
well,
what I mean? It
yeah.
just
Well, a
seems
lot of yeah.
like a
Well, a
yeah.
lot of it has to do with what I call we refer to them as Corvette people, right? So it's my Corvette is best Corvette because it's got like the anniversary red with like extra orange thrown in there. You're like, cool, man. That's nice.
It's like,
So
does the
it's
car drive?
right, right, and that's the thing. That's the thing with people in video games is like, oh yeah, you got this multi tool, right? But mine has like an extra tooth on the tip. They're like, cool,
Oh,
I
wow.
guess. Like, yeah, you'd be amazed. You would literally be amazed on how picky some people are. Like for example, have you noticed that there are symbols on your ship?
uh, Not really.
Yeah. Well, exactly, right? Because like you're never gonna pay attention to them. It's just like nitpicking. But you'll have people that will literally go out on like on a wild goose chase to find a specific ship with a specific color, which is understandable, and specific parts, and you're like, cool, that's totally understandable. But then they'd be like, oh man, but it doesn't have like this one symbol on the wing, and I'm like, okay, like can't even see it. It's like it's like a different shade of blue. You can't even see it. No, but I'll know it's there. I'm like, okay, um, maybe you should maybe we should get OCD treatment or something. Like, so, so,
Yeah.
some people are like that. Like they will like I've seen people find extremely rare ships and just be like, nope. Like why? Oh, cause like this one thing isn't what I like. This one circle that's right there, like is not the circle that I want. It's the circle with like the little arrow next to it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna walk away now. You know?
My whole thing is like, is it a hammer? Okay. Why do I need a hammer to be more aerodynamic? If it does its job, it's a hammer.
Right, right. Um,
Can you die if I jump off my spaceship?
no. Well, as far as I know, what happens is if you travel far enough, you'll hit a teleportation barrier. So it'll just send you back to the hangar. Don't quote me on that because I know every flavor is different. Like I actually
Well,
don't know.
let's give it a try.
Alright. Well, I mean, I don't know what happens. Oh wait. Oh, where's the oh, cool. Falling into your face. Okay. So, yep. Nope. It teleports you back to the hangar.
Oh,
Back in the day, you could literally just go Geronimo and just jump
off into
off your
space.
freighter. Yeah. Um, that's why it's always recommended. It's always recommended for you to spawn your freighter above a planet, just in case you fall through the floor. Back in the day, it was a lot worse because there was like no catch for you on the bottom. You would just fall through the floor out to like your death um, if you weren't upgraded enough.
Gotcha. I'm kind of glad that I'm discovering this game for the first time
Mm-hmm.
years after it came out because it's got a little less bugs than I guess what it probably had in the beginning, and then it's also like it's got a lot more to it.
Yeah. Well, the thing about this game is it's a good game. Um, the downside to it, and I don't really think it's like bugs. I think it's just limits. So the game engine isn't the best in the world. So like sometimes certain things won't render in like at all, which is unfortunate. Um, and then it causes crashing. So sometimes it's not really a bug that causes your game to crash. It's just that someone out there has like done something very outlandish nearby, and the game is just like, nope, I'm gonna have a stroke at this point in time. The game crashes. Um, which is unfortunate. I mean, it's it can get really bad, like really bad. Not to throw shade around, but the Galactic Hub is infamous for just having people colonize solar systems like you wouldn't believe. And what will happen most commonly is, so let's say we're in a system that belongs to the Galactic Hub, or they've claimed it as theirs. And there's like hundreds and hundreds of bases everywhere, right? Some of them range from like giant mansions to these little shacks. And what'll happen is, because the game is trying to render all this stuff and trying to put in all the effort to render this stuff in, if you were in that system and pulled up your galactic map on your ship, you'd stay stuck on that screen.
Mm.
Somebody
Somebody showed me a bug yesterday that if you're in your exosuit and you try to change the viewpoint to first, like to first person, it just does a black screen.
It depends. I know there is a situation with like the Minotaur, where if you try to go from third to first or first to third and back and forth and whatever's, um, there's like a lot of, how you say, to put it simply, the viewing window isn't that big. So it's like if you were trying to wear a turtleneck over your eyes.
That makes sense. Not a lot to see through.
God, these freaking sentinels.
I built a base right next to a sentinel, I guess, because for whatever reason they don't like me.
Yeah. Well, sometimes just planets are really hostile, and let me just look at these guys real quick.
Holy shit, bud. Is that you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I gave my Minotaur a chain gun.
It looks like you're bathing them in blue flames.
Yeah. See, normally it shoots something like that.
Yeah?
But what I did was, because editing also, you can also edit like more of the same upgrade. So I just decided, I was like, I wonder what'll happen if I fill my Minotaur with nothing but guns, and then this happens.
Well, that's pretty handy, for sure. It's like you just have a blue flamethrower.
Right?
Did you ever read George R.R. Martin's Sand Kings?
No.
That's what it reminds me of. Like, there's a point, Sand Kings, where he basically he gets these little alien ants, and they worship you. Like, if you treat them right, they'll build like these little sand castles, and they'll have these edifices with your face on it. And the guy that gets them is like a sadistic bastard, right? So he treats them like shit, makes him go to war, starves them for months, right? And then eventually he murders his girlfriend. She breaks open the case, and then they take over like his house. And like there's this one scene where he's like trying to get rid of them with like flamethrowers, and it's like flames everywhere. He's standing up in the window watching, and then all of a sudden everybody that's there to help him gets killed and like eaten alive. And that's kind of what that reminds me of. It's just a giant flamethrower against these tiny little things.
Right.
It's a crazy story. It's like a science fiction horror science fiction.
Right.
Um, it yeah.
Well, I've definitely seen some pretty like out there stuff. Like I mean, like if you've read that, then you definitely must have heard of Warhammer, right?
Like the game?
Well, the game and the books and the tabletop game, stuff like that.
I just know the game. I haven't ever read the books.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty messed up. um, so it's like, okay, so you've heard of Berserk, right?
Say, hold on. I was reading something. What'd you say?
You've heard of Berserk, correct?
The anime?
Well, the manga mainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Warhammer's like that, except way worse. Right. It's just one of those things where like people have put in literally the most effort to be like the most horrible situations possible, and it's like a common occurrence everywhere. And there's like you would think there'd be like maybe like in the words of Deadpool, you know, once you go to 24 hours torture, 24/7, 7 days a week, there's not really like, you know, you can't really step it up from there. And oh, you'd be wrong. You'd be dead wrong. Yeah, it's bad. Like it's literally like 90% of that whole situation is like the definition of fate's worse than death. Um,
You see my little pea shooter?
right. I see.
Yeah. Let's go, bud.
Yeah, well, what works, man.
I'd be in real big trouble if you weren't here.
You could survive. I mean, there's definite ways that you can like tweak the system a little bit. Well, I don't know when they had an update that just made your Minotaur's legs like hyperextend themselves.
Yeah, I see it's kind of getting a little wonky here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Where's my gun at?
Is that it? I don't see anybody.
There we go. Alright, I guess I'll try to collect some of this stuff while we're just chilling.
Right. No, it's interesting. I swear there's like a Mandela effect in this game. Because I remember that at one point you used to have your Sentinel companion that used to cheat. I swear that was a thing. But everyone keeps telling me, like, nope.
Maybe you had a dream about it and then it's like into your subconscious, you know?
Maybe. I mean, that sounds a lot weirder. I'm sure everyone has.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I told you I was writing a book.
You did mention a little bit of that, but you didn't tell me like.
So, yeah, well, it's based on my dreams. So,
Mhm.
I just use those as like little story golden nuggets, and then I flesh it out. But I could read you the synopsis if you want.
Sure.
Let me see. I'm gonna get to space really quick, and then I'll pull it up on the computer. Tell me if you think it's terrible, or if you'd read it.
Well, it depends. A lot of it just depends on people's personal tastes and what their preferences are.
This is true, but also if it's trash, you know, that's pretty universal.
Well, like they say, one man's trash, another man's treasure.
Oh, but sometimes trash is really trash. It's not like, you know what I mean?
Well, like for example, sometimes things that are deliberately trash are good in their own way. Like just look at modern art nowadays. You know, like
This is true. This is
you
true.
know, um, I think a lot of things that like, what's a good example? Oh, like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I've never seen it. I've seen
Oh,
every
with
scene of it.
Taika Waititi, the with Hitler, that and the kid. I think that's JoJo's Wild
Okay.
Adventure, right? Yeah, cause
No,
he
no, no, no.
is
It's
it not
it's like an anime. It's got like the buff dudes and
JoJo's Wild
Bizarre Adventure. It's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Bizarre Adventure. Oh, yep. All right, I know what you're talking. I think it's JoJo's Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jojo Rabbit with Taika Waititi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I mean. Certain things are designed to be trash in order for them to be good, because it's just like really outlandish.
All right, so you ready? I'm gonna read it for you. This is gonna be on the cover of the book. This is like
Mm-hmm.
the summary. It's everything's a work in progress, so take it with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
So James Ruco's life is turned upside down when he loses his wife and children in a tragic accident. Desperate and
Mm-hmm.
grief-stricken, he cries out in despair, not knowing that his cry will be heard across the universe. Suddenly, James finds himself transported to another planet, where he is thrown into a world of danger and survival. The only rule in this strange new land is to stay alive, and James must use all of his strength and wit to overcome the challenges that come his way. As he
Mm-hmm.
struggles to come to terms with his loss and find a way back home, James is forced to confront his deepest fears. Can he find the strength within himself and move on, or will he be trapped on this alien world forever? Waking Spirit is a gripping epic of loss, redemption, and the power of the human soul.
Mm. That's not bad.
All right, I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
take not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the only thing that you must avoid at all costs, at least in my opinion, is regression, just to make people happy. Um, so,
What
for
do you mean?
example, well, for example, there are endless situations where you have people who are making a story, right? A lot of it is based off of like the main character having to have suffered some tragedy, and then he goes through this epic adventure, starts a whole new life, moves on, and then out of nowhere, like out of left field, they're like, oh, by the way, these people that you lost, you can get them back, or they weren't really actually dead. And you're like, what?
Oh yeah.
Like,
No,
yeah,
no,
like,
everybody's dead for real.
yeah, like
His two
that's the thing,
kids get run over in front of him.
right?
So
Yeah.
no
Well, see, that's the
coming
thing
back
though,
from that.
right? That's the thing though is you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Like to give you an example of this would be okay. So his kids, like you said, they get run over in front of him and so on and so forth. And let's say he was abducted by these like aliens that say, hey bro, you looked all depresso espresso with your life on your planet. So we decided to, like beam you up, yo. And then like maybe like a couple seasons into it, where they start running out of ideas, like, oh, guess what? It turns out that we were mistaken, and your kids are still alive. You want to go back home? Like like I've definitely seen that a lot. Um, it's one of the reasons why I really like Berserk, um, because they do what's called progression through loss. So it's like it's like the character is always on the back foot, and when he always overcomes things is when you kind of identify with them more. So the whole point of Berserk is just like the endless struggle. Like the main character himself is like labeled as the struggler. Um, like a perfect example of this is so Guts, which is his name. Um, he is in the beginning he's an extraordinary man in a normal world, right? And that takes him only so far. And then when shit hits the fan, so to speak, he becomes an extraordinary man in an extraordinary world, which means he's just a normal guy now.
Right.
So he has to find a way to, progress, right, to become extraordinary. But everything comes at a cost, right? And that's the one thing I really, really like, and a lot of people like about Berserk, is there's always a cost to something. Nothing is ever free, and sometimes you reach your goal, but it's a temporary, fleeting thing. You know, because Berserk does touch into like a lot of like disturbing things. Another thing that I like about it is so there are characters that are very evil, or you would see them right away, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that guy's definitely evil. That guy's definitely evil. But then you see other people who are supposed to be good people, right? And then they do evil things. So there's this thing of like even good so quote people can do horrible things, if they find it beneficial for them.
Right.
Right.
For,
So.
yeah. So my whole um thing is to make sure that everything I do has a purpose to it.
Hmm.
So like, and it's more of a character based story in a
Hmm.
science fiction and fantasy setting.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
it's more of a it's actually, I guess it's more of like, I have shit that I'm personally going through. Like I
Hmm.
lost my dad last March, so
Hmm.
like a story of loss
Hmm.
is a way for me to kind of deal with that stuff.
Right.
So that's kind of why I started writing it. So
Give me a second. I'm getting a phone call.
yeah. Oh, I have to go to Corvax. Okay. All right.
Already. Already. Oh, before I forget. Um, but yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I know a lot of people. They'll do like these stories and stuff like that to cope with day-to-day life. Because I mean, there's a process. There's definitely a process to dealing with loss or just difficulties in life. And some people use that as an inspiration to kind of like get their feelings or thoughts out there, and then they understand that everyone's human, everyone deals with loss and gain and so on and so forth. So it can definitely resonate with people, you know.
Yeah. I don't. You know, it's. I mean, it's deeply personal. It's my first novel. I
Mhm.
don't. I don't honestly know if I want people to read it, but at least I'm gonna write it,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
you know, I have
Mhm.
I have like I don't know, 10 people reading it so far.
Mhm.
For like I call them omega readers, because
Mhm.
alpha readers are people in the industry, and beta readers are like the people that you're supposed to let read after it's been edited, but
Mhm.
it's not been edited. So and these are the
Mhm.
people that are reading it.
Right. Right.
So I have them reading it currently. There's like close to 10 people reading it, if
Mhm.
not 10. I forget how many I sent it to. Um, and so I'm waiting on feedback from some of those guys. And
Mhm.
one person told me that you should definitely sell this because people would definitely read it. It's good. But I don't know if I necessarily believe it. I always think I'm
Mhm.
a terrible writer, but
Yeah.
people tell me different. So
Mhm. Well, it might be one of those situations where um, you might just have a knack for it. I would always say, always assume that you're bad at something with the goal of getting better.
oh
Because
oh
there's,
I always think I'm terrible.
yeah. Well, as long as if it's used for a benefit, because there's definitely been people who like they coast, once they find like a certain niche and they won't push any limits. You can just look at like the fact that they bring out a Call of Duty every other year, um, or at
This is
some
true.
point, yeah. So it's always good. It's always good to have a criticism about yourself as long as it's used as a motivator to get better at your craft and push certain boundaries. Just you have to kind of read the room sometimes, because you definitely do not want to be in a situation where you do something that's just absolutely egregious. um, I think Miley Cyrus might fit that category.
Ah, yeah. Though those
Uh,
things were nice when she showed them.
yeah. Well, see, that's the thing though is like
She's
her.
kind of
Yeah,
cute, so
yeah. Well, see, the thing about it, I don't have an issue with the fact that she's very expressive and open about herself. It's a certain point where you're like, okay, either something really tragic happened to her, or like she got dropped at some point in time. Because it's like she's like out there. There are certain things, that people consider art that are out there, which is understandable. Um, but but there is just something where like, bro, just keep that to yourself. You know, it's like when you have like people who are nudists in nudist communities, and that's fine, right? But
but
don't
keep it
just
there.
exactly, exactly, right, exactly. They're like, oh, this is the way I express myself. I'm like, not in front of this elementary school, you don't.
Yeah.
You know, um, there are just some people who just, they have like this form of like not being able to read the room. I know because I definitely, definitely had coworkers that I've trained who just like don't understand that there's just certain things you keep to yourself, especially when you've only known me for like 5 years.
Hello? Hello? I lost you, buddy. I don't know if you're still there, but I lost you. There, but I lost you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you're
don't,
back.
yeah, don't worry. When you're warping, you can't hear anybody.
Oh, it was a while ago though. I warped a while ago.
No,
Um.
I was warping.
Oh, I'm warping now.
Well, you should still be able to hear me though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on console, if I warp, I can't hear. I can't hear you, and you won't be able to hear me.
All right. So this game has some character. I like it.
Yeah. The PC Master Race, I guess.
The only reason I got a PC was so I could enjoy like the best graphics and
Uh
then
huh.
play with a controller.
Uh huh.
But now the PS5 is so great, from what I've heard.
It's still not gonna compare to the PC. See, that's the thing. I tell people, look, if you have kids, get your kids a console. You know, if you want something for yourself, get a PC.
That makes sense cuz yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good advice. Um I think my computer is probably 5 or 6 years old now though, so it's probably
Mm-hmm.
comparable to a PS5, you know what I mean? It's
Uh,
got the
mm,
Nvidia GeForce 20 something, 2060 or whatever.
well, see, this is the thing: is when it comes to games, as long as it runs and runs it well, um, you're still current. There are just some people that are like, no, 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 I need to be able to count every grain of sand in my on my screen, and I'm like, no, no, you don't.
Yeah, not to make it enjoyable. It's still enjoyable without like
Yeah.
I hadn't played video games for 10 years until about probably 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started again and I was like, "Oh, wow, this is great." And I started what did I start off playing? I played all the series that I had missed. So like Killzone, like I
Mm-hmm.
started with Killzone 1 and then I did Killzone 2 and then Killzone 3 and I was like seeing each iteration just get better and better and better. I was like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is phenomenal. These graphics are
Yeah.
great." And then I went to Cyberpunk and I'm like, "Oh, holy shit."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've so Killzone is another example of them just getting too comfortable. Because Killzone 1 was good, Killzone 2 was better, but then Killzone 3 is just like, what? You know? And then it was so bad you could totally tell that they, well, because you beat Killzone 3, right?
Right.
Right. You know how they have that open ending, at the very end?
Uh, I forget how it ended.
Yeah. Oh, well, the main bad guy you supposedly killed, but it turns out that he survived because of like
Oh
his power
yeah,
or something. Yeah, and
yeah,
it does that thing where he like looks at the screen and then it cuts to black, you know.
yep,
So, so they definitely dropped that, and then Killzone 4 came out, and it had nothing to do with any of the original Killzones, and I just killed the franchise.
yeah. Like, why would you do that? I mean, if you have
Yeah.
an open-ended ending and then you come in
Hmm.
with something completely different,
Yeah.
you just alienated your entire base.
Yeah. Well, because what they did was like that whole thing that I mentioned earlier, where they end up regressing. So it's like the first kill zone takes place on, Earth or whatever,
Right,
Vecta, whatever the hell, right? And then they finally end up going to Helgen, right? And then in the fourth one, they go back to Vecta, and you're like, huh? And then they added like this weird, like, like they say, too many spices or too many chefs ruin a recipe, and
right,
they tried to add this spice of like subterfuge and like corruption, and I'm like, it's called Killzone, not James Bond. Right? It's not double oh
exactly.
007. Right? I come here, in the words of Vin Diesel, you're thinking too much. Just blow shit up, you know. But that's the thing. That's the thing is like they try to add this, sense of like just intricacy to a game where you're supposed to just blow stuff up. Yeah. Um. It's so weird. It's like have you ever played Fall Guys?
Fall Guys.
Yeah.
I've heard of it, but I haven't played it. No.
Yeah, so it's very, very simple. You're just a bean-shaped character, and there's like an obstacle course in front of you, and you guys race to get to the other end, right? And you can also like grab onto people and sabotage each other, stuff like that. But it's very simplistic, very simplistic. Obstacle course, if you're gonna fall, you can grab onto someone while you're falling and take them down with you, right? It's very, very simple. Imagine that, right? But they added like this like political thing of like, oh, the red beans are racist against the blue beans, and you're like, what? Like it just doesn't fit. It doesn't make any sense.
Have you
And
played
and
Biomutant yet?
um sounds familiar. Is it the dude with the robot arms?
Yeah, the little like it looks like the little raccoon off of Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's like with a sword and he's like going against these. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so. I'm not
Well,
100% sure.
well, to make a long story short, you start playing it right, and you're like, oh, this is
Mhm.
gonna be sick. It's almost like I thought it was gonna be like Ghost of Hiroshima, because it's got
Mhm.
like sword. It's like I thought it was like a raccoon with superpowers and a sword.
Mhm.
And I was like, all right, sick. This is great. And then you get into it, and it's like it's terrible. The story makes
Mhm.
no sense. The instead of like just reading text like we have, it has
Mhm.
you're reading text, but then you have these terrible voice like it's not even a voiceover. It's like like literally. And so
Oh, like what's that game called? Animal Crossing. Or The
yeah,
Sims.
exactly. Exactly. And I'm like, I was like, wait, what's going on? And then you have like a guardian angel and a devil on each shoulder, and like you choose the path of the light, choose the path of
Oh
darkness.
god.
And then like those characters have interaction with each other, and they're the
Mhm.
only ones that speak. And you're like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
what is going
Well,
on here?
that's totally them trying to budget. Um, yeah, no, I definitely see that. That's the thing is, it works if it's like maybe like a cutesy game where things
Yeah,
are more like right in front of your face. You know, like
Yeah.
for example, if you put my character in the field with a net and there's a butterfly in front of me, I'm gonna assume you want me to catch the butterfly. There's nothing, complex to explain on that, you know. Um, but a lot of these games, what they'll do is they'll cut corners like crazy. Um, I mean, it does work sometimes. Like for example, have you ever played Aliens Fire Team Elite?
No.
Okay, so in my opinion, it's a good game. It could definitely be better. I think the one thing where they dropped the ball is that it's only third person and not first person. Because if you're gonna put me in a situation where I got, aliens running towards me, I want them to be in my face. Because it adds to the whole like scariness of it. Because if you're getting swarmed and all this stuff is in your face, you're gonna be like, trying to like just unload rounds down the hallway or something. Um, but all in all, it's a good game. It's a good game. So in that game, they have good voice acting. They have good voice acting, but they don't have any like lip sync or anything. The characters are just like they're not static. They move, but you can hear, and there's also text. You can hear them talking. You hear the text, but there's no like mouth movement on their characters. But it still works.
Interesting.
Yeah. But but yeah, no, that's just just so stupid.
Yeah, the yeah, Biomutant is hard. It makes sense if it's
Mhm.
like a creative animated like type of vibe, but
Mhm.
this one like the marketing was off. It's like Cocaine Bear. Have you seen that yet?
I, yeah, 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 yeah.
Came out like last week in theaters or whatever.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I've definitely I've read about the story way before they decided to make it into a movie.
Yeah, so okay, so the movie is marketed as a comedy,
Uh-huh.
but in reality, it's a thriller
Mm-hmm.
and comedy. And I'm like that doesn't work for me.
Right.
Like if you're going to make a thriller, make it a thriller, cut the comedy out. Like maybe have one
Mm-hmm.
or two quips, but it's like a 50-50 and it's not a good mix.
Right. Well, I know a lot of the issues, at least nowadays, is they want to make as much profit as they can. Because I understand it's a business, but I mean, the, the main dispute I have with people is that look, if you make art, it's art first, and then a business later.
Right.
Um, but a lot of people just kind of see it as the opposite, you know, which is unfortunate because then like expression and then art just in general ends up taking like a big decline. Again, I'll mention modern art, because they're like, I want to sell my stuff and this and that, and that'll make me successful. It just makes no sense. Um, but yeah, so Cocaine Bear, a lot of movies nowadays, they're like this weird in between where they can't really find its identity simply because they want to be able to like market to like the broadest group possible and make as much profit as they can off of it, which is unfortunate.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, yeah, no, it is what it is, unfortunately.
We'll get there eventually. We'll get there as a society, you know. Eventually we'll have art again and like things that
Mm.
matter and people won't be at each other's throats and life will
Well,
be good.
unfortunately, that will never happen. Because it's like this. It's like this is the interesting thing. All right. So, um, as I'm sure you could tell, I'm a pessimist, right?
I don't know, man.
Um,
Some things you're really optimistic on. I've kind of got some
yeah,
notes of optimism, and then, like,
yeah. Well,
politics wise and human nature,
yeah,
I think you're a pessimist, maybe.
yeah. Well, it's like this. Is I call things what they are, right? And whether people want to admit it or not, the times we currently live in are the best times ever. Right?
True,
Best times ever. Life is easy. Life is real easy.
true.
And
Unfortunately,
there's
it makes us all really soft, though.
right? But see, that's the thing is that was the goal in the first place, right? So the the, the one thing that we're supposed to be doing is we're supposed to be indulging, right? The problem is a lot of people indulge way too far, you know. So it's like, these people have sacrificed in the past in order for my life to be a lot easier, a lot better, you know. But you have to remember that you have to continue fueling that fire. So like, let's say your family struggled hard for generations to build this giant fire, you know, and now you're sitting down and you're enjoying, the fruits of that labor, but you still have to at least throw a stick in there, and that's the problem. That's the problem is, because we do have art, we do have a lot of tremendously beautiful and, cool things out there. It's just not enough people um, remain humble, essentially. That's the problem. You know, it goes from them enjoying the fruits of someone else's labor, um, which in most cases is actually a good thing. But then they take things too far where they feel entitled to it, where it's not just I have to indulge myself, but people should indulge in my indulgences so that I can indulge even more.
That doesn't make any sense, but I I know what you're saying. I
Yeah.
mean, that makes sense what you said, but it doesn't make
Hmm.
sense for people to be like that. Um, you know what I mean? It just I don't know.
Yeah. 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 No, it's very straightforward. It's like the saying goes: hard times make strong men, easy times make weak men.
This is
And
true.
yeah, and it's always a balancing act. You know,
This is
like
true.
yes, I'll go to hometown buffet and I'll eat whatever the hell I want, but I still have to pay for my meal.
All right, give me just half a second.
Yes.
If you guys are watching the stream, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button or drop a chat down below. I use this time to get to know subscribers. And if you are a subscriber or have not yet subscribed, this is your time to shine. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, want to talk about anything, feel free to hit the chat box or hit a thumbs up. You should get an animated thank you for both of those things. And without further ado, back to the stream.
Alrighty. Before I forget, come with me to the space station.
All right.
This is I forgot to help you out with your inventory. Um, oh, but
Give me half a second. I'm trying to find the mallow bulbs underneath. Does it list it
oh,
as on the planets or no?
you mean marrow bulb? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Will it show in green?
start up there. Yeah, it should show up. No, that's forest. Yeah, it should show up as a green text. So like the one right in front of me, the one that says fart one. That one is a star bulb. This one over here is frost crystal.
Oh, you can see it on the. Oh, I'm a dummy. I was like literally
Yeah.
piloting the ship.
If you look at a planet and you hit your scanner, it should pop up. That's fungal mold.
And you can check other systems just by click. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I am such a noob.
Yeah. Well, it's not that it actually like tells you, you know. And I mean it's a good and a bad thing. I mean I really like that about the game because like it gives you so much freedom that it allows you to screw yourself over. Which I actually quite enjoy because I'm the kind of person to like see a tornado and like walk into it to see what happens. Let me see what the hell's going on with this. What the... There you go. Come on, come on, come
Let's see.
on. Let me see. Can I read the one that you're on?
I don't think that it does. Are you sure it shows it in the green text or because it's underground,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Okay. So if you look at the planet, if you're out in space, if you look at the planet, and then you hit your scanner, there should be that little thing that pops up right there on the right. So the planet that you're currently next to has cactus flesh, active copper, pyrite, and salt, at least in abundance. So as far as I can tell, there's no planet here that has metal bulb.
Hmm. All right. You said come to the spaceship. Going to the space station.
Yeah. What do you? Oh, scan over here. No, that's a dead planet because it's only got copper. Okay. Go
Looks like you have Frieza's spaceship or a Saiyan spaceship.
Yeah, the space pod, you know. I was actually debating whether or not to get it white and red rather than metallic and red, but the white, there's like certain things that don't color. So like this back part and then the little ring around the red part turns white, but this metal band that goes over the front stays metallic, so that it looks kind of wonky. So I was just like,
Hmm.
just keep it. Well, originally this thing was metallic and white, but after the update, it turns metallic and red. I don't know why, and many people must be pissed off about the fact that they should change color. Yeah. Like, trust me, it's bad. When stuff like that happens, it's bad.
Like you
Cause
said, it's the Corvette complex, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, it's not just that. It's you got some free space in your backpack?
Let me double check.
One,
Yeah, I got
two,
one,
three.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 10 spots.
Okay, cool, perfect. Okay, so you could use these to increase your storage.
Well, thanks, man. Holy shit.
Oh, believe
Let's
me,
go.
this is nothing. Like, this is literally nothing. See, the thing about this game is that a lot of people have a hard time understanding the scale of the thing. So, like, for example, I can give you something, right, and you'll have 1.2 billion credits, but you literally spend, and the maximum you can have is 4.2. Yeah, 4.2 billion is the maximum amount of credits you're allowed to have, and that's enough to like maybe get like 2 ships to maximum storage if you buy the storage.
Wait, so you can say that I can upgrade, I can give myself 166 slots?
So I think it goes the bottom section is 10 by 12, and the top one should be 10 by 10, or it might be 10 by 11. But
Because
yeah,
these
so
are
your
all exosuit
technology section
upgrades you
and
gave me, right?
yeah, so your technology section and your storage section should have around 100.
Holy cow. What do I owe you? Is there anything I can give you, or is there nothing that I have that will benefit you?
Well, I mean, you want me to lie to you? Or tell you this, but-
No, if Mercenary, do you have a YouTube channel or a Twitch stream?
Nah. Nah,
Well, if you guys find him on any social media, go spam the like button and follow him, because he's a champ.
Yeah. I mean, they could hit me up on Discord, but that's just so I can give more stuff away.
You're awesome, man. Thank you. And it's not just because you're giving me stuff. It's you're a genuine human being.
It depends on what day of the week.
Yeah, get you on a bad day. It might be something else, right?
Right.
That's okay. Everybody has those days.
Right. But yeah, no, because storage.
Oh,
is definitely
I can
something
use
that's
this
a
to.
pain.
Wait. I'm confused. So those things you gave me, I can expand my technology slots too with them?
Yeah.
But it's only for the exosuit, is that right?
Yeah.
You
There's
are.
others for multi-tools, for ships, for your freighter. Because storage management is, as you can tell, a very big thing in this game.
Oh, it's huge. It's
Yeah.
like half of the time that I'm on here, I'm just managing inventory space.
Yeah. And I mean, it's ridiculous how expensive things get. The one thing I don't like about this game is what I call diminishing returns on certain things. I know it's not exactly the right terminology, but I like to call it that because it makes it sound a lot worse than it actually is. So what it is so think of it like this, right? Let's say I have a soda, right? I have a Coke, and I tell you, well, you ask me, okay, well, I wanna buy a Coke off you, right? And I go, sure, this Coke is $1, and you're like, cool. Well, can I have 2? I'm like, okay, that'll be $2.50. And they're like, what? Like, yeah, it's $2.50 for for 2 Cokes, but it's $1 for one. And you're like, what? That makes no sense. and that's what this game and a lot of other games unfortunately do to artificially extend the grind. So when it comes to storage, the first one costs 1,000, the next one will cost 2,000, the next one will cost three, and then four, and then five, and then exponentially gets worse from there. So, like I think at later, the most expensive one, which is obviously going to be the last one, it's like 100 something thousand or more, just for like the last slot.
That's wild. So
Yeah,
this really quick, sorry, this exosuit thing won't let me upgrade my suit anymore. So maybe
yeah, that should be it.
I
Hopefully,
wasn't able to use all these things. Can I give you back the 26 and 30? Or I've
no, that's
got
fine. I have more.
46.
I have a lot
Okay.
more.
All right.
Which reminds me. Where's this? Where's this? There we go. Okay, so okay.
How do
Where
I
do I?
sell my extra ships?
Oh, so you come here, and then you will go to claim scrap worth, but only hit that if it's the current ship you have equipped.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can only scrap the current ship you have equipped, which I
Can
think is
I
dumb. Mhm.
can I call a different ship in here and then
Uh, Unfortunately, not in the space station. You could do that in the anomaly or in your freighter. So what you can
oh,
do is you can hop into your ship and fly out and spawn your freighter.
shiesty.
Yeah, yeah, it's very very annoying. Um,
And
I don't know why they do that.
if I have inventory in my other ships, do I need to take it out before I scrap it?
You don't have to, but it would be definitely recommended if it's something you don't want to lose.
Oh, okay, so I will lose it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I might want to do that really quick. Can I change ships out? No, I have to land on a planet and then come back up. Is that right?
Well, if you fly out and spawn your freighter, so spawn your freighter as soon as you can once you fly out, and then when you fly into the hangar, you should be able to swap out the ship.
Ah,
Yeah. So you could swap out a ship while it's on a landing pad in the freighter, and then I don't know why they don't let you do that in the space station. Um, because that's a
maybe because it's like a community space and there are only a limited amount of spots. But I would it would make sense
mm,
if it
well,
just
it
switched out the one that you had occupied.
no no that's what it does. It switches out the one that you have occupied.
Oh, we know then that is a stupid thing. I don't know why they
Yeah,
don't do that.
yeah. And to add more salt into that wound, in the anomaly is a public space. It's literally where people go to like join each other. So it's literally the most like populated spots in the game, and you can do that in there, which just makes no goddamn sense. Um, so I mean, they might do it later on, maybe. They'll add an update that lets us swap out our vehicles or sorry, our ships while we're in the space station.
Hmm.
Hopefully, someday soon.
One day, maybe,
Yeah.
if we're lucky.
I mean,
If we behave, right?
right. Yeah, like it. It literally took us like, was it like three years for us to be able to, come back here and activate the space station core. Yeah, there was, oh my God, there was so much speculation on these things. Like, so there are certain things that are just bad ideas in general, simply because of just the way people are. Um, because I think the first time we played together, I explained to you how I had people try to claim stuff or steal stuff from other people.
I think so, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Well, just a recap is I would find crashed ships, right? Because so preferably you'd want to find a crashed ship, especially if it's an exotic, because it's always going to be in the same location, and all you got to do is just reload, your save to to be able to get another one. Um, so it's preferable that. into waiting in the space station for it to hurry the hell up and land, because that could take you a very long time. So what I would do is I would find these ships and I would build a small little shack right next to it. And literally with the mindset of having people teleport to my base in order to claim these ships. Well, some people like to hoard things, especially things that don't belong to them. So what they would do is they would go to your base, report it, which would it wouldn't delete the base. It would only delete the base for them. So it's still there. They just can't interact with it anymore. Um, so then they would place their own base computer there and then build, a cage or a dome around that area to try to keep it for themselves. Well, everyone had the same idea, so sometimes if you found a crashed ship and built a little base there and told people about it, very quickly you'd find that there'd be bases on top of bases on top of bases on top of bases, just like trying to hoard things for themselves.
Hmm. Sounds
Yeah,
like a pretty toxic environment for the
yeah,
game to be in.
yeah. Luckily, that's even though it's at some point it was a lot more common. But this game has never been based off of like any kind of competitiveness. Um, so luckily that dies very quickly, especially due to the fact that it's a moot point. Even if you have a dome over it, I can just do the same thing. I'll show up, report your base, build my own base there. Like very, very simple, you know. Um, there are other ways of kind of cheating the system, um, which I might show you, um, but not on stream. uh,
Okay.
because the only reason why is because there have been episodes back in the past of this game where you have content creators who are so transfixed on creating content they do not care about any of the after effects. Um, Now, I won't name names, but they know who they are. There's been content creators who essentially said content creator literally discovered a way to kill people in a safe zone, made a video about it, obviously posted said video, and it led to very, very many people losing their save files because you could do this in any game mode,
Hmm.
particularly in permadeath, where when you die, your save gets erased. So you
That's a
would have,
setting in this game.
yeah, yeah. That's what permadeath is. So there's creative. So back in the day,
That's kind of
there
like
were,
Elden Ring, right? Permadeath is like Elden Ring. Your
um,
save gets deleted and you start from scratch.
well, in Elden Ring, no. So from software games, they're bad. When it comes to like like punishing you, but they're not that harsh. What the thing about Elden Ring and Dark Souls style games in general, is you will lose everything in your inventory. Um, Mainly what you use to upgrade yourself. Like in Sekiro, if you die, your XP bar drains. So you lose um, XP, so to speak, because your characters died and therefore gotten weaker or whatever. Um, Another thing for like Elden Ring is the way you level yourself up is by collecting runes. So think of them like souls. If you die, wherever you died, it'll drop all your souls. So your inventory is fine, but it'll drop all your souls right there at that spot. And if you die again before you can reclaim them, they're deleted forever. So you gotta reclaim them.
Hmm.
Yeah. Luckily, it doesn't have the Sekiro effect where your XP goes down. So if you're like level 0, you collect runes, you get to level 100, and you're trying to collect more runes, and if you die twice, and you lose all those runes, but you'll still be at level 100.
Interesting.
Yeah. But permadeath in this game is like, believe it or not, actually a lot harsher than that. Like, So there's three game modes in general. There's creative, there's normal, there's survival, and then there's permadeath. There is like this other one that's like an in between, which they added very recently, which is a custom, where you could like pretty much just customize like the way you want to play the game. So like for example, if you want to get into space battles but don't want to worry about the radiation or heat killing you, you can turn that off. You know, so you can have a lot of combat. Just don't worry about the environment. Um, but yeah, so in permadeath, if you die, your save immediately gets deleted. So that's how permadeath works. Um, well, this guy, because he made this video, a lot of people use this method to kill people in these safe zones for permadeath. So very many people lost their save. Now, what kind of got under my skin was the fact that he got called out for this, or they got called out for this, and they still didn't take down the video. um, in fact, they actually used this as a way to um, garner more attention. I think I'm using this terminology correct. It's like false flag, situation
Mm-hmm.
where they made a video kind of following up to that. Oh look guys, these people are coming into permadeath and they're killing these people, using the method that I taught people, but he just kind of skims over that. um, so so they go, oh well, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna gather some friends and we're gonna go defend these guys and kill these people who are killing other people, and if some of us die along the way, that's worth that sacrifice. So they essentially had a whole Lord Farquaad moment where he's like, some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I am willing to make. Like, you know, like literally had a Lord Farquaad moment. So that was that situation.
Major S.
Oh, that's a really big echo.
It is a very big echo.
Okay, so that's let me know if that clears up because I had to mute that. That's loud.
Yeah. How do I? I'm gonna mute that too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Major, but your echo is killing me, my man.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I just hit that. Yeah.
So for whatever reason, I can't fly any of my ships.
Do they have fuel?
Yep. This
Let
one
me see.
says primary. Oh, now it wants to work. Interesting. Cause like I jumped into him and I hit the go button. It was like ding.
Right,
It was like wouldn't let me go, and then ding, wouldn't let me go again.